As the old saying goes, size matters.
At Morgan & Morgan, we have over 1,000 lawyers and nearly 6,000 people on staff.
But at the core, this is and always has been a family business.
Our family watching out for your family.
Call us or email us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even on a Saturday or a Sunday.
And if you ever have a problem, call our mom.
Morgan & Morgan.
For the people and your family.
Injured? Dial # law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Live the horror at Universal Studios Hollywood Halloween Horror Nights. Select nights September 4th to November 2nd. Face your fears in post-apocalyptic LA and a haunted house based on the hit show Fallout. Don't fall victim to Art the Clown inside a grisly Terrifier haunted house like nothing you've seen before. And that's only 2 of 8 terrifying haunted houses. Grab your tickets now at universalstudioshollywood.com/Halloween. Event not recommended for children under 13.
We finally switched to T-Mobile because with them, we can be connected here and there.
¡Listos todos! Estas son las mañanas.
Now we just need to harmonize. Switch today. Get 4 Samsung Galaxy S25 phones with Galaxy AI. Plus, get 4 lines for just $25 per line. Visit a store, T-Mobile.com, or call 1-800-T-Mobile. 1-800-T-Mobile. For well-qualified customers with autopay plus taxes and fees and $35 per line connection charge. Minimum 4 lines on plan. Contact us if canceling lines. Plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. Visit T-Mobile.com.
At Fry's Pharmacy, we make it easy to get flu, COVID, and RSV vaccines. They're available at no cost to you with most insurance plans. No appointment needed. And we're open weekdays, weeknights, and weekends. So come and visit us when it's most convenient for you. Fry's, a world of care is in store. Vaccines subject to availability. No cost to you with most insurance plans. Check with your plan for eligibility. Restrictions and exclusions may apply. See site for details.
It's time to head back to school and forward to your future with Carrington College. For over 55 years, we've helped train the next generation of healthcare professionals. Apply now to get hands-on training from teachers with real-world experience. In as few as 9 months, you could start making a difference in healthcare. Classes start soon in Phoenix, Glendale, Mesa, and Tucson. Visit carrington.edu to see what's next for you. Visit carrington.edu/SCI for information on program outcomes.
Denny's has 5 slams starting at $5, like the 2-egg breakfast slam. Great deals on full meals like the Super Slam. That's slamming smart. 5 slams starting at $5. And now earn booth bucks with Denny's rewards. Find your booth at Denny's. Valid at participating restaurants and on Denny's.com for a limited time. Restrictions and surcharges apply.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe, Phoenix, and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale, Phoenix. It's the lunch break.
We made it to a Friday. Welcome into the lunch break here on KDUS AM 1060. And nothing like the NFL to give us a nice story to lead into the weekend and lead into the first week of the season. Less than a week before everything gets underway next Thursday. The Dallas Cowboys put themselves at the center of the NFL world. Thanks for hanging out with us today. The phone number, if you want to join us here on the show, 480-864-1060. That's how you can join us. We've also got the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream, and you can hang out with us over there as well. The NFL world, it changed yesterday. That's where we will start today's program.
Time for our top story of the day. It's the Daily Special.
When we left here yesterday, it was our one and only leftovers story on the Thursday show that the Dallas Cowboys were now all of a sudden going to listen to offers for Micah Parsons. Well, it didn't take very long. It took a couple of hours.
Not even. I wasn't even out of here.
That's right. So it was
40 minutes?
Within maybe 60 minutes, 40, 60 minutes after we got off the air. They had traded Micah Parsons to the Green Bay Packers. You've seen the trade by now. 2 first-round picks. Kenny Clark going back to the Cowboys in this trade, shaking up the NFL world. And, of course, I think the place many people start when talking about this story is what on earth the Cowboys were thinking by doing this. Just insanity to think that it's good business to trade away Micah Parsons. And I understand that Green Bay gave him a lot of money yesterday. They gave him, $47 million per year. Highest paid non-quarterback in the history of the game, making more money APY than Patrick Mahomes. I mean, you've seen all these numbers. I'm not telling you anything that you haven't already seen today. But it was sticker shock to see those numbers for a non-quarterback. And I get maybe a world where the Cowboys want to tell everybody, hey, we don't think this is good business. We don't think paying a defensive player nearly $50 million a year is going to set us up for success. I'm okay if we want to live in that world and have that conversation at some point and thinking the 2 first-round picks and Kenny Clark make us a better team. I would be willing to entertain that and have that conversation. I can't have that conversation today because of the way this went down, because of the way everything goes down when it comes to Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys. It's a circus. It is a clown show on the regular. This time, the clown show went to a place that nobody thought it would go. You thought that maybe Dak would get to this point. You thought maybe Ezekiel Elliott would get to this point. But nobody thought that the young dynamic pass rusher, all-around superstar, game changer, chaos creator, however you want to describe Micah Parsons, you never thought there was a world, even the Dallas Cowboys, would make this move yesterday. And I'm just left wondering, what were they thinking? They can tell me, and Jerry Jones can sit in front of that podium yesterday and still call Micah Parsons Michael Parsons. And he can tell me that they got better at defending the run yesterday. Well, you know where you aren't better now? You know where you have a major hole now? I don't know how you're getting after the quarterback. And you've got 2 first-round picks to potentially get somebody even close to the level of Micah Parsons. Good luck with that. Have fun. I'm rooting for you.
Yeah, what did he say? That we can draft Pro Bowlers? You had an All-Pro, right? Like, you had an All-Pro in the room.
Instead of drafting All-Pros, instead of drafting Pro Bowlers, how about you keep the young Pro Bowler that's in the room? How about you keep the young Pro Bowler that is a superstar for your team? And again, there's a world where if Jerry would have come out and said, and none of the other circus stuff would have happened, saying, hey, we just $47 million, that wasn't a place that we were comfortable going to. We were more in the 40 to 42 range. We couldn't bridge that gap. And so we felt like this was the best thing that we could do for our organization. There are teams all across football that get to that impasse with their player. They're both operating in good faith. They're exchanging numbers back and forth, and they just reach an impasse. And both sides look at each other and say, okay, we need to move on. And you move on and you get in front of the podium and you just say, hey, this didn't work out. That's not what this is. This is a player that could have been signed months ago, could have been agreed to, could have signed him to a deal, maybe not 47, but could you have gotten to 43, 44, 45? I think Micah would have wanted to stay. I don't think Micah
I think he would have taken
leave.
a few million less to stay. I really believe that. I just can't believe that they were unwilling to just deal with the agent. Like that's what this comes down to.
And that's the problem that I have with all of this. There is a real legitimate football conversation that we could actually have today. And in fact, it's an interesting thought exercise of maybe the Cowboys thought about this in the right way and the 2 first-round picks and addressing their hole with their run defense for a player that they could pay Micah Parsons, but they would still have a whole host of other issues. And is that really the best use of their resources? There's a fun little team-building philosophical debate that you could actually have today. But you can't because it's Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys, and they just mismanaged this from the word go. And it was never about trading Micah Parsons for 2 first-round picks. It was never about trading Micah Parsons to get a run stopper in the middle of the defense. This was all about Jerry Jones, quote-unquote, winning. This was all about Jerry Jones coming out of this with the media attention that he wants and thinking in his mind that he won. Well, let me tell you something. The Dallas Cowboys and Jerry Jones, they're big losers today. But you don't need me to tell you that. You know that because this is easy. This isn't trading a third-string corner that you debate on whether or not they're a good player or if they're going to reach their potential someplace else. This isn't a first-round bust that you're just trying to hold on to the potential that when you drafted that player. This is a dynamic superstar that is leaving the Dallas Cowboys today, is making the Green Bay Packers a whole lot better, and is making the Dallas Cowboys the worst team in the NFC East. Because without Micah Parsons, what do they have defensively? I already have major questions about the Cowboys with their quarterback. I don't think Dak Prescott is a very good QB. I think he's at best middle of the road. So I have an average quarterback. I don't know how they're going to run the football this year. How is it going to work with CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens? Are they going to be able to work that out? I've got a head coach that, let's face it, doesn't really inspire a ton of confidence. And now I have a defense that just lost their best player, and I don't know how. Great. Kenny Clark's going to be able to stop the run. You know what else is going to be able to stop the run? The fact that teams are going to throw 35 to 40 times against you because you can't get after the quarterback.
They're going to have all the time in the world. All the time in the world. And listen, to me, this is chalk it up as another win on the Cardinals schedule of like, lock it up. They won the Monday night game. You said it, that they're going to be the worst team in the NFC East. This is a 5-win football team in Dallas.
Funny how the Cardinals get both ends of this trade this year. They will get to play Micah Parsons on the Packers right before the bye. And then right out of the bye, they get to play the Kenny Clark and 2 first-round picks richer Dallas Cowboys on Monday Night Football. They get to see both ends of this swap. But I don't disagree with what you just said there. This Dallas Cowboys team, I don't think is very good. I really don't. Even with Micah Parsons, they had plenty of struggles. Even with Micah Parsons, they were probably viewed as the 3rd best team in the NFC East, right? I don't think anybody's picking them over Washington with Micah Parsons. No. I don't think anybody's picking them over the defending Super Bowl champ Philadelphia Eagles. They were already picked 3rd. And now you trade away your best player? Just absolute insanity. I do not understand what the Cowboys think they were doing. Now, another thought that crossed my mind yesterday, we were almost going to talk about this to open the show, if not for the trade that actually went down. But could the Cardinals have done something similar in a trade package? Because as we learned, the Cowboys were only interested in negotiating with teams that had interior defensive line help. Because apparently Dallas had to get somebody to stop the run as part of this deal. That was a non-negotiable for them. And I don't know if they could have matched this deal. They could have given up the 2 first-round picks. That's easy. But did they have a player that matched what Kenny Clark provides to the Cowboys? And he didn't have a great year last year, Kenny Clark, and he's 30, 31 years old. So he's on the other side of 30. And so he's an older player. So I don't know if the Cardinals had a 1-to-1 fit. I don't think they would have traded. I don't know if Dallas would have wanted Darius Robinson, or else they may have asked for more. They might have wanted another draft pick in that deal. I don't know if 2 firsts and Darius Robinson would have gotten it done. I think 2 firsts and Kenny Clark is a better package. But producer Evan said this to me in the morning meeting, that perhaps the draft picks carry a little more weight because you don't expect the Cardinals to pick as high as now the Packers will be picking, right? The picks that the Cowboys got back from Green Bay, you're talking late 20s.
I mean, yeah, at best, are we saying it's 29?
Yeah, I mean, this puts Green Bay probably. I won't say they're the favorite to win that division. I still think I would pick the Lions if we were picking today. And boy, am I glad that we're doing our predictions next week on the show.
I think immediately, I'm taking the Packers now.
You would take the Packers over the Lions?
I really do. I have major question marks about what the Lions offense is.
Give me the weekend to think about it for our predictions. But
I could see you going both ways, but
yeah,
it's a coin flip today.
It's much closer than it was 24 hours ago, for sure. It's just a question about Jordan Love, really. And I still think that question exists with or without Micah Parsons. And so I don't know if Micah, and it's a huge upgrade for them. I mean, they're just going to be able to get after the quarterback in a way that, Micah is a difference maker. He just makes everybody around him better. You look at metrics, the Dallas defense with him versus without him. Without him, they're one of the worst defenses in the league. With him, they're the best. This is one player, yes, and you just paid one player $47 million, but this isn't just one player. He makes probably 5 or 6 players, including himself, better by being on the field.
Your defensive line, just by adding him, every player got better and more opportunity. Every player.
And so that's why you take a swing like that. That's why you pay a guy like that $47 million. And you make him the highest non-paid quarterback in the history of the sport, because you just think that it's going to make everybody else better, and so that you're not going to have to go out there and add extra players to that defense, because Micah is going to make everybody else better just because of the attention that he is going to demand.
And the conversation around what the Packers were 24 hours ago and what they are today is so different.
It's night and day.
It's night and day.
Yeah, there's certainly going to be talked about more in the NFC Championship Super Bowl conversation than they were 48 hours ago.
I guarantee you over the next week, we are going to see so many people take them as their Super Bowl pick.
I don't know what the odds movement was. I'm sure there was a significant odds movement for the Packers when it comes to their Super Bowl odds before and after trading for Micah Parsons. Honestly, I'd love to see what the NFC North odds changed if they became the favorite, the overwhelming favorite for that division. That would be something to keep an eye on going into our predictions next week. But I don't know if the Cardinals could have matched this. 2 firsts and Darius Robinson was the working theory that I had thinking about this yesterday and into today. But I don't know if that's a 1-for-1 match to what the Packers gave up. So you probably would have had to sweeten the pot a little bit. You probably would have had to add another day 2 pick. And that is a decent amount of draft capital. I mean, I've been on record. I would have done that trade. I would have done the trade the Packers made. I would have done the trade of 2 firsts, a day 2 pick, and Darius Robinson if the Cardinals were offered that. I would have done any trade, really, to get Micah Parsons. And I would have paid him the money. I think he's that good of a player. But I could understand maybe some hesitation. And I could understand saying, man, $47 million is a lot. But that's not what went down here. What went down here was an owner who constantly has to be the center of attention, an owner who constantly has to win every negotiation, who's moonlighting as the GM while he's also the owner, and he can't separate the two, and he gets in his own way, and he trips over himself, and then he gets in front of the cameras and has a press conference and gets all the media attention that he wants, and the answer that he offers up just isn't good enough. It is not good enough to Cowboys fans today that we got better at stopping the run. It's not good enough today to say that we got 2 first-round picks to be able to maybe get another future Pro Bowler. This is like the Family Guy bit of the mystery box. Peter gets the boat. He's offered the boat or the mystery box, and he says, oh, mystery box. Could be anything. Could be a boat. You had the boat. Micah Parsons is the boat. Micah Parsons is the all-pro superstar that everybody dreams of. When you are a general manager, when you are put in a position to make a selection in the first round, you dream of drafting a player like Micah Parsons. You dream of a first-round pick becoming a generational player, a superstar that you can then pay the big bucks and that they can get to that second contract. You dream of having a player like Micah Parsons. And instead, Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys turned that dream into an absolute nightmare that is going to haunt them forever. It doesn't matter how good or bad Micah Parsons is in Green Bay. It really doesn't. What matters is the Dallas Cowboys had a 26-year-old superstar player that they let get away. And guess what? Fast forward to next April of 2026, when the Cowboys are making that selection for Green Bay, Micah Parsons' name is going to be brought up, and it'll be brought up the year after that when the Cowboys make that next pick. This is going to follow them around forever. And just imagine a world where Micah goes to Green Bay and he wins and he succeeds, and the Cowboys stay in this pit of irrelevancy, at least in terms of winning. They're certainly relevant in terms of media buzz, but this pit of irrelevancy when it comes to winning, while Green Bay and Micah Parsons celebrate winning playoff games. When's the last time Dallas has done that? Winning NFC championship games. When's the last time Dallas has done that? Winning a championship, perhaps. When's the last time Dallas has done that? The NFL landscape changed yesterday. Green Bay vaulted up the leaderboards in the NFC, but the Cowboys also went to the bottom of the leaderboard in the NFC, because now, let's link this to a conversation from yesterday. You want to talk about purgatory in the NFL? Dallas Cowboys smack in the middle of that purgatory.
Let me ask you, and this is a real question of the Dallas Cowboys and the New York Giants this year.
I think the Giants are a better football team.
Yeah, I agree. The Dallas Cowboys are the Chicago Bears.
I think the Bears are a better football team.
How about the Panthers?
I think the Cowboys are a better football team than the Panthers, although it's close.
So then you'll give them the Saints, too. You'll probably say that they're better than the Saints.
I would say they're better than the Saints. I do think the Saints are the worst team.
What
in
about
football.
Seattle?
It's close.
I think it's Seattle. So you're talking about, in reality, the Cowboys is the 3rd worst team in the NFC. That is a real place to put them. That's a real place to put them.
And that's not overreacting to just one player. Micah Parsons is a difference maker.
A difference. What he does for that team when he's on the field, which, by the way, this false narrative that they've created that he's injury prone is fake. So he's always on the field.
Except when he's laying on the trading table during a preseason game.
Yeah.
I mean, this is just this. I cannot believe that this was handled this poorly by Dallas and Jerry. And I said, what did I say? I did not think he was going to get traded. And I have to eat some crow today. I thought he was going to be on that sideline in some capacity in week 1.
I'll be honest with you.
Floored.
I have never seen a trade request come out like his did. And reading through that, and we did it on air, I'm reading that. I'm thinking the whole time, like, this is far deeper than a contract negotiation. I have to do this to get to the next step. That's what that felt like. It felt like disrespect from the owner that eventually rubbed the player so the wrong way that he just didn't want to play there anymore. How could you, if you're Micah Parsons, how could you want to play for a guy who's unwilling to deal with your agent to keep you on the team, who's unwilling to call you the right name at the podium, right? Like, those eventually are going to lead you out of town. And now you get to play for another historic franchise in the NFC, who, by the way, you went from Dallas, who with or without Micah Parsons is finishing, if not in the basement of the NFC East, third, to a team that is probably what most believe a surefire playoff team in a conference that you have a chance to win.
Yeah, I won't say you moved to the penthouse in the NFC, but you moved pretty close. You moved pretty high up the apartment building floor. You're close to the penthouse with the Packers.
Yesterday, the Packers win total went up an entire game, 9.5 to 10.5. Dallas shifted from 7.5 wins to 6.5 wins. And Green Bay is now the favorite in the NFC North.
That's the difference this player could make. And Dallas felt like it wasn't worth negotiating with that player's agent. I mean, that's really what it boils down to. Insanity. We'd love to hear from you today on this and a whole bunch of other topics that we're going to get to here today on the show. 480-864-1060 is the phone number for you to join us. When we come back, another day, another good Blaze Alexander performance. This just can't be ignored. We'll talk about it next. It's the lunch break. KDUS, AM 1060.
James Out West, your desert destination for sports here in the Valley.
You've seen Shador. We've all seen him. He's, kind of everybody gravitates toward him.
He's got aura.
There we go. Thank you, as the young kids
say.
He's just there doing his job. He shows up early. He stays late. He's not posting it on social media to post it on social media to say, look at me. What you see is when he shows up to a neighborhood in which just got burned down, the apartment complex, and he sets up food trucks. I can't wait to see what happens for him, and I think that they have a good foundation for the future.
It's James Out West, every other Monday night from 6 to 7 p.m., right here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
I got my first real six string.
Brian Adams, Roll with the Punches Tour 2025. A night full of hits, live at PHX Arena, Saturday, November 15th. With special guest Pat Benatar and Neil Giraldo. Get tickets now at livenation.com.
Hi, Luis Gonzalez here. Want to bet? Feel the thrill of Casino Arizona with 1,400 of the hottest slots and nonstop table game action. We make winners, no experience necessary. Join us for the best bingo in the Valley with daily sessions. Indulge in all-you-can-eat Eagles Buffet or enjoy fine dining experience at the award-winning Choya Steakhouse. Enjoy top-notch local entertainment, tribute bands, and viewing parties at CAZ Sports Bar, just off the 101 in McKellips. Casino Arizona, uniquely Arizona.
Hi, I'm Brian, your friend and jeweler here at Shane Company. Come on in, feel at home, and let's find your dream engagement ring. I'm proud to work for a company that puts customers first and lets them shop the way they want to. See, we believe shopping for an engagement ring should be fun without any of the pressure. We don't work on commission, so finding your dream ring is truly on your terms. We'll be right by your side as your friend and jeweler to help you find a ring more beautiful than you imagined. And stick to your budget too. We have all of the styles and all of the smiles. You can even watch our in-house jewelers working their magic inside your neighborhood store. It's that kind of care and craftsmanship that makes Shane Company's free lifetime warranty the best in the business, saving you thousands over time and giving you peace of mind. No appointment necessary, or check us out at shaneco.com. Because a friend knows when you're ready, you're ready. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Another day closer to the Dallas Cowboys opener, and reportedly, Micah Parsons and Jerry Jones are no closer to a new deal.
What do you mean?
But there was a Micah sighting at the airport, causing desperate Packer fans and conspiracy honks to assume that he is being dealt to Green Bay. Hilarious. Jera is not trading this dude. He might not be signing this dude, but he is definitely not trading him. It should have never come to this. This is not a Terry McLaurin or Trey Hendrickson situation where the players turn 30 or the franchise is extremely cheap. We're talking about one of the best players in the game in his prime at the end of his rookie deal. Then again, you can see why it's not getting done. Jerry is too busy watching and rewatching that doc that he commissioned to Netflix about himself. Bob Kraft can't believe that you produced, directed, and edited a doc to make yourself look good, Jera.
That's all it.
Allegedly. I'm Jim Rome. Remember, you can follow me on Instagram at Jim Rome. Football is back, and so is the action on Prize Picks. With millions of members and billions of dollars awarded in winnings, Prize Picks is the best place to put your takes to the test. Download the Prize Picks app today and use the code ROME and get $50 in bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play $5. Win or lose, you'll get $50 bonus credit in lineups just for playing. Guaranteed. Prize Picks. Run your game. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
O'Reilly. Check engine, ABS, or maintenance light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. The service is free and provides a report with solutions verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we could recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
On your ride home from work, join in on the Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Bierstein.
If we owned our own football team called the Angry Roosters and we kept signing people to contracts and they weren't honoring their contracts and kept demanding raises, at what point do we throw our hands up and just say no to everybody? We signed you to a contract, play out your contract, and that's it. You earn a better contract on your next one, we'll pay you for that.
Live weekdays from 5 to 6 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Buy or sell coming up about 25 minutes from now. It was another multi-hit day for Blaze Alexander, who now has an 855 OPS in the month of August, a 922 OPS over the last 7 days. And this is just a performance that I don't think we were ignoring. We've been talking about it on the show a bunch, wondering how this was going to impact the Diamondbacks' plans for next season, the impact that this was going to have on Jordan Lawler. But it just feels like with each passing day and every time we talk about Blaze Alexander again, it is becoming hard to envision a world where the Diamondbacks are going to be able to play both Blaze Alexander and Jordan Lawler in the month of September and evaluate them in the way that I think they need to set themselves up for 2026. I mean, Blaze Alexander, if we're basing this off of merit, and this is the way it should go, should be playing every day the rest of the season. Unless he needs a day off. Unless they just don't want him playing 15, 20 games in a row. If he's healthy, he should be in there for this team. The rest of this year is all about evaluating the young players that you have. If you're going to suck as a team, if you're going to trade players away, and you're going to tell all of us that the rest of the season really doesn't matter, we don't really care what the record is, we don't care where the team is in the standings, you got to give me something to look forward to. There has to be something to make me want to watch every day. And that answer is the young players. That is getting an answer on what the future for this squad might look like. And with the way that he is playing in August, the way that he is playing within the last week, Blaze Alexander is playing himself into an opening day role for 2026. How could you not sit here today and look at the state of the Diamondbacks and say that Blaze Alexander isn't the opening day third baseman for this team, just based off of performance. This program, we love Jordan Lawler. Love him. We think he's the future. We are still not giving up on what Jordan Lawler can be as a player. But at some point, what your eyeballs tell you has to matter. And my eyeballs are watching Blaze Alexander play great defense at third base. My eyeballs are watching me, a guy that if that 855 OPS in August was what he was doing for the whole year, it would be the third best third baseman in the National League. Just playing great defense while being an above average, excellent offensive threat. It is a 1 month sample size, but that's the reason why he has to play in August. That's the reason why you have to see this over a larger chunk of games. You got to know going into next year, is this my opening day third baseman? Is this the guy that's beaten out Jordan Lawler and has the leg up going into spring? You just can't ignore this because, Jordan Lawler is a highly drafted, highly touted prospect. Doesn't matter where Blaze Alexander was drafted. Doesn't matter how Blaze Alexander got to the Arizona Diamondbacks. What matters is the production that Blaze Alexander is giving this team right now. And for a team that's in a little bit of a transition period and is trying to solve some problems across the diamond, you may have an answer to one of those problems. It may not just be the guy that you originally thought it was going to be. This cannot be ignored. Blaze Alexander is doing everything right for this team right now. He is doing everything that you have asked Jordan Lawler to do. Blaze Alexander is doing everything to say to you as an organization, I'm the opening day third baseman. Not him, not Jordan Lawler. I'm the opening day third baseman.
Eventually, everything else, whether you were a top prospect drafted in the first round, or in Blaze's case, what was it, the 11th round? Something like the 330 picked. It doesn't matter anymore. It is, what have you done for me? How have you produced at the big league level? And the one thing I can tell you about Blaze Alexander is I've seen it. I've now seen it. And do we think Jordan Lawler didn't get a fair shake? 100%. Do I think he would have thrived maybe in a situation where he was playing third base every day? 100%, I think he would have done better. But that's two call-ups where, let's face it, it's been alarmingly bad. It's been alarmingly bad.
Number 339 overall, an 11th round draft pick in 2018. I had to look it up. Do you want to know why I had to look it up? Because I don't care. I don't care where Blaze Alexander was drafted. I honestly don't care where Jordan Lawler was drafted. I don't care where Jordan Lawler ranks on MLB Pipeline's top 100 prospects. I don't care where he ranks in the Diamondback system. I don't care. This is a results-based business. And I'm not saying this to say give up on Jordan Lawler. This is more praising what Blaze Alexander has done, albeit 164 plate appearances. But I'm bringing it up to say, give him more chances. Give him more opportunities. Don't call up Jordan Lawler and have Blaze Alexander be the one who loses playing time because you want to evaluate Jordan Lawler. Find a way to evaluate both of these guys. And credit to producer Evan because he found this little piece of information when we were getting ready for the show today. He hadn't done it any other year in his career. But this year, down in Reno, Blaze Alexander played, 10 games?
10 games
in center field. 10 games, about 88 innings worth of action in center field. So if September is all about evaluating, if September is all about, hey, we don't really care what the games look like, we don't really care if we win or lose, we got to get answers. We got to figure out what this team's going to look like in 2026. Which young players can we count on? Which young players can we not count on? And what positions do we need to address via free agency? Or which do we have internal options? Blaze Alexander, Jordan Lawler, you're our guy. If we're not going to care about results, and we shouldn't, this team should not be in the business of caring about results. Organizationally, maybe Torey Lovullo cares because his job may hang in the balance if they completely go sideways and lose a bunch of games. But as an organization, they should not care about the wins and the losses. What they should care about is setting themselves up for 2026. And so I would find a way to get both of these guys in there. Hence why earlier in the year we said, hey, could you find a way to get Jordan Lawler some outfield reps to get some versatility? Blaze was playing some center field down in Reno. Is there a world where Jordan Lawler can play third base and Blaze Alexander can get some time in center field to see what that looks like, to see if that solves a problem out there in the outfield? Because Alec Thomas, a solid, decent defender, although hasn't been that this year, but you don't feel like you're getting the offensive production that you need from that spot. Could you maybe find a way to get both of these guys time to see if Jordan Lawler can stick at third base, if Blaze Alexander? Because if I'm Torey Lovello, if I'm Mike Hazen, if I'm the Diamondbacks organization today, with the way that he's playing in August, I need to find ways to get Blaze Alexander in my lineup. I have to find ways to play that kid every single day. Is it sustainable? I don't know. But you know how you get that answer? You play him every day. You get him 250, 300, 400, 500. You pick a number. You get him that many plate appearances, and you find out. It's what we wanted Jordan Lawler to get. Blaze Alexander, however, is taking full advantage of that moment to the point where he cannot be ignored anymore. He cannot be cast aside when Jordan Lawler gets called up, if he gets called up at the beginning of the month. When we get in here on Monday, September 1st, rosters expand. A bunch of teams will be making moves. We'll see what the Diamondbacks' moves are. Perhaps it will be, we'll get to celebrate Jordan Lawler being back up on this squad. But that should not come at the cost of playing time to Blaze Alexander. This organization has to find a way to get both of these guys involved. Because, frankly, they both deserve a chance to show to this organization that they deserve to be in the plans for 2026. And Blaze, with the small little runway you've given him so far this year, is giving you something to think about. So I want to see that for the rest of the year. And maybe he goes back to a 650, 700 OPS, and he's just a guy that you can keep on the roster as a utility infielder who can play great defense, can play one every couple of days. And maybe that's what his role is. Or maybe he's your opening day third baseman and he's your starter. The only way to find out that answer is to play him.
Let me ask you this crazy question, because It's All Code in the YouTube chat just said Lawler, Perdomo, and Alexander are all between 23 to 25 years old. Marte's 33.
One small correction. Blaze is 26. He just turned 26 in June, but points still remaining, a young little core of infielders.
Does it make you entertain the idea with how good Blaze has been? And let's say they do make the call up to Lawler and he goes gangbusters here in September. Does it entertain the idea of moving Marte?
I would not allow one good month of Jordan Lawler and one decent 2 months from Blaze Alexander
to change
my mind on Ketel Marte. Now, if they've already made up their mind on trading Ketel, then fine. There's nothing that Blaze or Jordan will do or not do to change that calculus. But I am not. I think that would make me a bad GM if after 2 months of a player that was an 11th round pick playing extremely well, if I allow that to say, you know what, I am going to trade the guy that I just gave an extension to in April, that doesn't sound like good GMing. That sounds like very reactionary GMing. And that's not the way you build a baseball team. Just not the way you're supposed to do things. I think if they're going to trade Ketel, they've already made up their mind on that. I don't think they've made up. I don't think they're going to trade him. I think they've made up their mind in that regard. I think they're going to build around him.
But their decision is made either way.
I do think there is a world where Ketel slides into more of a DH role because they do need that. I don't think Pavin Smith is going to stick there long-term as the DH. So there is a world where maybe Blaze and Jordan aren't competing against each other. Blaze can play second, Jordan can play third, and Ketel can be the permanent DH. There is that world. That's a potential
really
timeline.
Feasible world.
Yeah, absolutely. That is a feasible world.
Especially if we've talked about it. You have Locklear, you have Del Castillo, and you have Pavin Smith all playing for what we think is going to be 2 spots. I mean, has any of those guys jumped out of the page of you in the last 3 months of, wow, taking advantage of the opportunity?
But the way you get to that place, the way you get to being comfortable with those guys being your starters every day,
playing them.
You got to play them now, right? I got to play Blaze now the way that I've been playing him. I've got to play Jordan Lawler the way that I've been playing him in the minors. I have to play him every day at the big league level. And I got to find out.
And you don't find out by not playing them every day. That is, and I stand by this. If it never works out for Jordan Lawler, that's a huge if. I will hold the organization somewhat responsible for how they handled him in 2025 at the beginning of the year.
I would agree. 480-864-1060, the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. How about this? I'm feeling generous today. It's a Friday. You know what we do on Fridays. We didn't do it last week, so I owe everybody one. Let's give away a $50 gift card to Von Hansen's. Located on the school, just between Elliott and Warner in Chandler. Online, vonhansensmeats.net. Football right around the corner. They've got house-made easy appetizers for your football parties. How about burger sliders, potato skins, deli salads, meats, beers, wine, barbecue rubs, wood chips, even all natural dog food and treats for your pup. One-stop shop for all your barbecue needs. Von Hansen's, located at Alma School, just between Elliott and Warner in Chandler. Caller number 5, 480-864-1060. We're going to hook you up with a $50 gift card to Von Hansen's. I don't know when it's going to get put in the mail because nobody in the building is working today. It's literally just producer Evan and I. So it probably will get mailed out next week, but we'll at least get you in the system and you can get ready for football. Maybe by week 3, you'll be able to put some stuff on the grill. There's nobody in the building today. When we come back, they officially announced it yesterday as a sellout. How excited should we be about ASU football this year? That's next on the lunch break. KDUS AM 1060.
The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alessio is your hub for everything high school and college sports. Join Vince and friends as they give you the full picture on student athletes and where they're heading. Live interviews with coaches across the valley.
Asking some of the tough questions.
Varsity recaps and in-depth interviews with tomorrow's sports stars. The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alessio. Live every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 a.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
9 Inch Nails. Live at Footprint Center, September 16th. Get tickets now at NIN.com. 9 Inch Nails, live in Phoenix. Peel It Back World Tour 2025.
At Cox, we're always a step ahead, like your dog who barks before the doorbell rings. Senses trouble before there's trouble, like advanced security that blocks online threats before they happen and knows when the peanut butter's hiding medicine. That's why we keep surprises off your bill. With Price Lock, the price of your internet and mobile plan won't go up for up to 3 years guaranteed. Rates are Berkelot. Cox, a step ahead. Requires at least 500 megabits per second speeds and gig unlimited mobile. Taxes and fees excluded from Price Lock. Mobile data speeds reduced after 20 gigs.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because we know it's not just a car. It also drives your children's dreams. So whether you're going to soccer practice, robotics club, or opening night in the school play, we help protect those dreams. Save up to 23% when you bundle auto and home. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Hi, I'm Andrew the Home Buyer. Selling your house right now the traditional way isn't so easy. The average home is taking months to sell. Fortunately, I can help. I'll come to your home and give you a cash offer within minutes. Then we can close in under 5 days. And I'll make sure you get as much money for your house as possible. Call me, Andrew the Homebuyer, today, and let's get your home sold. Visit AndrewTheHomebuyer.com. That's AndrewTheHomebuyer.com.
Live the horror at Universal Studios Hollywood Halloween Horror Nights. Select nights September 4th to November 2nd. Face your fears in post-apocalyptic LA and a haunted house based on the hit show Fallout and more. Event not recommended for children under 13.
Turn up the action at Arizona's hottest casinos. The Diamond Rewards Card from Desert Diamond Casino is the only club where you can earn exclusive benefits like free play, dining, and so much more. Just one card unlocks all 5 dazzling locations, including the brand new Desert Diamond White Tanks. One club, 5 destinations. The Diamond Rewards Club at Desert Diamond Casino.
An enterprise of the Donna Automation.
Bet with your head, not over it. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP.
Denny's has 5 slams starting at $5, like the 2-egg breakfast slam. Great deals on full meals like the super slam. That's slamming smart. 5 slams starting at $5. And now earn booth bucks with Denny's rewards. Find your booth at Denny's. Valid at participating restaurants and on Denny's.com for a limited time. Restrictions and surcharges apply.
It's the Dan Patrick Show.
Ben DiNucci, NFL quarter. I'm still going to introduce you as NFL quarterback. Being on the practice squad, what's the difference in how you're treated, lifestyle?
Honestly, nothing's different. I mean, there's 53 guys on the active roster and there's 16 on the practice squad. And the reality of the NFL is that guys are going to get hurt. There's a reason that these teams put a lot of effort into the practice squad, just like they do the active roster. It's really all the same. You're still traveling with the team. The pay cut's a little bit less, but at the end of the day, it's still great.
Live Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m. right here on KTUS AM 1060 and the KTUS 1060 app.
Tomorrow night, Sun Devil Stadium, ASU gets their season underway. And
Mountain America Stadium.
all right, I'll put $1 in the jar. That's fine. That's fair. I owe $1. You were really quick on that, too. You were just ready. Did you anticipate that I was going to mess that up?
I just knew you were going to do it. You knew you were going to do it.
Even after all the time we spent yesterday discussing the differences and that it is Mountain America Stadium, you were just ready to just jump me there. Correctly, I might add. There is, I do not blame you, but man, you are just ready. I'll put $1 in the jar. Mountain America Stadium tomorrow night. ASU gets their season underway. They welcome in NAU. It has been announced as a sellout. Building's going to be packed. First time they've sold out the home opener since, I forget the date that I saw on social media. I think it was the 90s.
1998.
That's the number. You know what? That was the number I had in my head. I didn't want to go with it, though. That was the number that I remember seeing on social media.
1998.
My confidence level wasn't strong enough to say it with some gusto, but that is the number that I saw. It's been a while. And you can't blame the excitement level that people have for this team. They had a great year last year. Excellent year. They were fantastic. Won a Big 12 championship. Kenny Dillingham put this program back on the map or on the map, however you want to look at it. And we have always talked about the follow-up. The follow-up is the most important part. You can have a great year. You can come out of nowhere. You can surprise everybody. That's great. And we all had a great time last year. How fun was that run for ASU last year? How fun was it watching them beat Iowa State the way that they did in the Big 12 championship game? How much fun was it? I can remember pacing around my office. My home office got my big TV, pacing around the room when they play Texas in the college football playoff. Texting with people all throughout the game.
So there's an awesome picture of me and my buddies all went to school together. And we went to Pedal House, like right there right off of Mill for the conference championship game. And they scored to go up, 20 or whatever it was, and just kind of group hug, and one of our other friends, she took a picture of us. It's an awesome picture. We love it. It's framed in our house.
And those are the moments you live for, not just as a college football fan, but as a sports fan. That's what this is about. It's about rooting your team on, celebrating those great moments. But now, that was last year. And this Saturday, tomorrow night, starts this year. And I am so looking forward to the start of this season to see if everything that not just Kenny has talked about, but Graham Rossini has talked about, everybody in this building, everybody in that program, if you talk to anybody, and I talk to people over there pretty regularly, there's just a buzz and an excitement, and they are ready to go. They are ready to put the past in the past, and they are ready to work on this year. And I'm just looking forward to it.
I think the coolest thing, you said it, 2 key words there, buzz, excitement, right? You walk around Tempe, it feels different.
And it's okay to be excited. It is okay to watch what this team did a year ago and get excited about that.
In fact, it's encouraged.
We encourage you to be excited about this team. Because we are.
It's so fun knowing that I believe this team is going to be good. And even last year, as great as they were, there was no expectations. There's no expectations. It's a little bit more fun when you know every night it feels like that stadium's going to be sold out. Every time they're in there, it feels like they're going to be sold out. And You didn't have that feeling last year until the end of the year.
And you haven't had that feeling in that building for a really long time at the beginning of a season. There have been times where throughout the year, I remember when I was there, it was when Notre Dame came to town. There are times where I can pick out that there was excitement and buzz. I can't remember the last time there was excitement and buzz around the team before the year started. The team is 11 in the AP poll, for goodness sake. They're 11th in the country to start the year. Get excited.
I mean, so in the first ever college football poll, they were 6, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was the year they beat Notre Dame.
Yes.
Other than that, I believe 11th is the highest they've ever been ranked in the AP poll.
How high did they get last year? Because the seeding at the end of the year doesn't matter. The seeding is irrelevant.
That doesn't matter.
Where they ended in the rankings, and I don't remember them getting.
So you're at the college football playoff?
Yeah, I don't think they got higher than 11th. I think they were like 12th.
They were 12.
Yeah,
to get it.
I don't think they got any higher than that. And if they play the way everybody thinks they can play, then they will move up that AP poll. They will be in the top 10 of the first college football playoff polls. They will be up there and all of that stuff. So
and deservingly so.
Yeah, absolutely. So get excited. First game tomorrow. We will break down all of it. Hopefully a big Sun Devil victory. You expect a big Sun Devil victory in this game tomorrow, and we will break it all down on Monday's edition of the show. Yes, we are here on Monday. We are doing a show on Monday.
Officially, we are doing a show on Monday.
We may be the only people in the building on Monday, but we will be here in the building. When we come back on the other side of the break, buy or sell to close up hour number 1 here on the show. It's the lunch break, KDUS, AM 1060.
Attention all clones. The Jim Rome Show is here for you every day here on KDUS AM 1060.
Lots to get done. Welcome to the program.
Listen in as Rome dives into the biggest sports headlines of the day. From final scores, player contracts and trades, team prospects, and even a spicy take or two. The Jim Rome Show, 1 to 4 p.m. every weekday here on KDUS AM 1060.
That's the trick.
Online at KDUS1060.com and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Judas Priest and Alice Cooper. The Metal Gods, Judas Priest. The Godfather of shock rock, Alice Cooper. October 22nd, Talking Stick Resort Amphitheater with special guest, Corrosion of Conformity. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Presented by 100.7 KSLX, part of the America First Credit Union Concert Series.
At Nationwide Vision, we help you step into every moment clearly and confidently. From quality eyewear and comfortable contact lenses to comprehensive exams and professional fittings, we make finding your focus a more enjoyable experience than ever. Right now, buy 1 pair of glasses and get the second one free, so you can live bolder, look sharper, and see better. Schedule an appointment today to find your focus.
Wendy's has a huge new drink lineup. And you know what goes great with your to-do list? A little treat. And we've got one for everything on that list. The have-to-do stuff? You need a Frosty Frappe. The want-to-do stuff? Obviously a Tangerine Twist Lemon Freeze. The stuff that's been on your list for like a year? That's gonna be a Sparkling Energy. And maybe a reality check? Giving your to-do list a to-drink list? Gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's, Sparkling Energy with caffeine.
Every summer, across the valley, hundreds of our homeless neighbors die because of the heat. This is tragic, and it is preventable. None of us can stop the heat, but together we can save lives. With incredible partners like you, Phoenix Rescue Mission is able to provide life-saving water and critical care to our neighbors in need. Join us this summer and make a difference. Learn more at phoenixrescuemission.org/code red.
Ready to tackle each morning with the best sports information coming at you?
I'm going to take a logical approach.
Get that weekday mornings on KDUS AM 1060 from 6 to 9 a.m. with the Dan Patrick Show. Dan Patrick, the Danettes, sports icons, sports legends, celebrities, poll questions. The Dan Patrick Show has it all.
It's a crapshoot.
Be sure to lock your dials to AM 1060 or 100.7 HD2 from 6 to 9 a.m. Mornings just got better.
This story is about us.
We don't have a lot of time. Let's jump right into it. Buy or sell.
I got 3 I really like. I think we're just going to roll with those 3 for you.
All right. Could you at least fade down the music so I can get the buy or sell music? You just jumped all over me again.
You said we're going to go quick.
I know, but I gotta get the buy or sell music.
And I was in fade mode. I got a good system going right now.
I know we're both looking to get out of here very quickly after the show is over.
That's not why.
We have to still get to 1:00 though.
No, there's only 2 segments in the whole show. We have a hard out.
This is one of them.
And this is one of them.
Technically, it doesn't have to be, but it is built to be a hard out. So yes,
I would have been willing to trade 2 firsts and Buda Baker for Micah Parsons.
It sounded very. Am I going to do this? Am I going to make this joke? Yeah, I'll make this joke. You did sound like another radio host here in town when you said Buda Baker the way that you did. You had the Italian New York accent there.
I
do it too because I'm from the same place that he's from. I have the same problem. With the way that you said it, he was instantly the first person I thought of. So I'm sorry. I had to go there. I apologize.
And you literally said out loud, am I going to do it? Am I going to do it?
I went there. It's a Friday. We're just having fun. No one. It's like 6 people in the building. We're not going to get in trouble. So I'm sorry. Am I trading 2 first-round picks and Buda Baker for
Micah Parsons?
I would not do that.
Really?
That's a.
You asked me this morning, so we talked about it in the morning meeting. Peel back the curtain here for us for a second. And we talked about 2 firsts and Dalvin Tomlinson. Was the first conversation.
And the reason why I brought up Tomlinson is because they wanted an interior pass rusher or an interior D lineman.
They don't worry about pass rush. They just want to stop the run.
Clearly, we've learned that they don't care about pass rush. They very much need a better run defense. That priority number 1. Dalvin Tomlinson is an older player. I mean, he's older than Kenny Clark. So I think you would have needed to sweeten the pot even for that number, even for that price. Buda Baker, and I've just created a new hole on my team.
Buda also 29, same age as Kenny Clark.
I really want Micah Parsons. I would really want.
Can I be honest with you? I think I would have done it immediately.
I'm going to change my mind. I would do this trade. I think that's how much I like Micah.
Do you know
Parsons.
how? You know when you don't need better safety play?
If you just
get it, you just get the quarterback before he can throw deep.
Fair. You are creating a hole back there, but it
a hole that's fixable if you just get to the quarterback sooner.
It's Micah Parsons, man. How do you not do that trade? Yes, I would have done that trade.
Finding what you have in Jordan Lawler and Blaze Alexander is the most important thing for the Diamondbacks the rest of the season.
Most important? Yeah, I'll buy this. Certainly a bunch of other things that I would put on the list, right? Giving Tyler Locklear all the time in the world to prove or not prove that he can be the first baseman. Trying to figure out what you have in these bullpen arms for next year. And not to determine keep or get rid of, but in terms of what these guys need to work on in the offseason. What's the plan going to be for 2026?
I just think given what Blaze has given you over the last month, which we've talked about extensively, and what Jordan Lawler is supposed to be and can be, you need to know where you sit with both of those guys coming into next year. And whether it's what they need to work on, whether it's, I don't know if this is the long-term answer, you just need to know.
Yeah, this is an information gathering business most of the time, right? And the Diamondbacks need to gather as much information as they can to properly understand where they're at going into 2026. I think many of you have your own feelings on where the Diamondbacks stand in 2026. I know where I stand on this team going into 2026. Are we sure that the organization knows where they're at going into 2026? Or perhaps they still trying to gather. What if Blaze Alexander has another month like he had in August? What if Jordan Lawler comes up and he's great in September? Doesn't that change the equation? Doesn't that change how you look at the roster and the moves that you may or may not make? Of course it does. And so, yes, I think those 2 guys in particular playing and seeing how well or poorly they play is the most important thing in the month of September.
A 10-2 record will get ASU back into the Big 12 championship game.
Yeah, I think so. I will buy this one as well. A lot of buying today.
Yeah, 3-0 on the buy week. A lot of buying week. Heavy buy week.
It was a heavy buy week for me?
Heavy buy week.
Bought a lot of stock this week is what you're saying. I didn't sell. I didn't take my profits. I'm just buying. Just hope the market goes up.
You did, by the way, I do have this on record. You did sell that Terry McLaurin or Micah Parsons will play for a different team.
Thank you. Thank you for using the rest of the first hour of the program for that. Hour number 1 of the program in the books. Hour number 2 right around the corner. It's the lunch break. KDUS AM 1060.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
Close out summer with a Saturday night showdown. Phoenix Rising hosts El Paso Locomotive on Friday, August 30th at 7:30 p.m. with great soccer and even better value. Score big with the $4 3-for-3 menu featuring a $4 all-beef hot dog and $3 drink specials during the match. Tickets start at just $15. Log yours in now at phxrisingfc.com. Hot dogs, cold drinks, one fiery rivalry. Don't miss it.
Arizona, you work hard all year. This Labor Day, let Tim Hovig's Santan Ford work for you. Drive a brand new Ford with sign and drive leases from just $319 a month. Zero down. Just sign and go. Prefer to buy? Get 0% financing, zero down, and no payments for 90 days, plus huge markdowns on every Ford in stock. The Labor Day sales event is on now at Tim Hovig's Santan Ford, Santan 202 in Val Vista and Gilbert, or shop online anytime at santanford.com. Restrictions may apply. Not everyone will qualify. See Santan Ford for details.
Hi, I'm Dustin, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. If you're shopping for an engagement ring, we want you to feel like a kid in a candy store. All of our diamonds are in stock, in-store and online, so you get to use your eyes, not your imagination. Come in and look at marquee-shaped diamonds right next to ovals and pears. As your friend and jeweler, you can trust you'll get your dream diamond at an everyday competitive price. We have the widest selection in-store and at shaneco.com, because a friend knows choosing a diamond is personal. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Breaking Benjamin. Stay forever. And 3 Days Grace. October 8th at Desert Diamond Arena with special guest Return to Dust. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Don't miss Breaking Benjamin and 3 Days Grace, presented by the Big Red Radio.
Okay, quiz fans, what's one word to describe Whataburger's new prickly pear raspberry Whata-Fresher? Is the best word refreshing? Or does the real raspberry make you say tangy? Or perhaps the sweet prickly pear fruit is simply delicious? Actually, the only word to describe it is quenchy, tangy, sweet, delicious. And that may sound like 4 words, but we used hyphens. Introducing new Whata-Freshers from Whataburger. Whataburger. Available for a limited time.
At Sprouts, you'll find healthy around every corner and tasty on every shelf. And you know what's even more delicious? With our new Sprouts Rewards, you can earn points, explore member-only perks and personalized offers, and enjoy savings. Download the Sprouts app to join today.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
I have a confession to make. I think I want Zac Gallen back on the Diamondbacks next season. I think I am getting to the place where I am outstretching my arms and I'm ready to embrace Zac Gallen again.
We've said on this show, and you've that I have a little crush on Sam Levitt. I mean, yours is for Zac Gallen.
I've always had a twinkle in my eye for Zac, yes. I mean, ever since he got here, I have thought that he could be a Cy Young winner, frontline starter, ace-type pitcher, and at times he's shown that brilliance. Other times he's made everybody want to rip their hair out, throw your hat. You watched him in frustration. I think I am ready to embrace him again. He starts tonight for the Diamondbacks. And I don't know if many of you have been keeping tabs on this, but since the trade deadline, he's had a 3.10 ERA. He's made 5 starts. 4 of them have been quality starts. He's been the pitcher that I've wanted him to be, that I know that he can be, the pitcher that I've embraced since he got traded here. He's been that guy in the month of August. And I'm caught because I'm the same guy who in front of this microphone has said, hey, you can't read too much to what happens after a team sells at the deadline. You can't read too much what happens when the pressure's off and there's no expectations and it's the end of the year. I think that applies more to September than it does August, but I look at it being August 29th and it's about to be September, and I just don't know what to do with a pitcher who's had a 3.1 ERA this month. 4 of his 5 starts have been quality starts. He's been a pitcher that, let's face it, the Diamondbacks need that version of Zac Gallen next year. They have 2 openings in their rotation going into next year. Zac Gallen is going to hit free agency. I tend to think they're going to place that qualifying offer on him, hence why they didn't move him at the deadline, so that they can get back that compensatory pick. And I think they may want Zac Gallen back. Now, the way that he's pitching, if he pitches that way the rest of the year, I wonder if a team will give him more than just $23 million a season and more than 1 year. And so he'll go someplace else, and this isn't even a conversation. But if teams don't give him what he wants, is there a world where the Diamondbacks should want Zac Gallen back? And I think the answer might be yes. Because I don't think if he chose to accept the qualifying offer, it would be the worst thing in the world for this franchise. Now, mind you, if Zac Gallen comes back either by accepting the qualifying offer or the Diamondbacks work out a deal with him at any point in free agency, you have to change the way you think about Zac Gallen. You can't think of him as a guy that's going to have a 2.5 ERA and be in the Cy Young mix. And I'm telling you this, I think more so I'm trying to convince myself of this, that I need to change the way I think about Zac Gallen. You need to think about Zac Gallen as a guy that can eat innings. As a guy, if he's the guy that he was in August, can give you a quality start when he goes out there. And the Diamondbacks are going to need that next season. They are going to need 2 starters in the back part of their rotation that can eat innings and keep them in ball games. And I don't know how else they're going to do that. What else can the Diamondbacks do this offseason to fill this rotation? We know that the resources are going to be limited. They're not going to have the money that they've spent over the last 2 years. And look at the free agency market. All of the top-end guys, Diamondbacks aren't going to swim in those waters, nor do I think they want to. They spent a lot of money on Corbin Burns last year. The year before that, it was Jordan Montgomery. I think they may take a 30-second timeout on spending big in the starting pitching pool this year. I think they're just going to take a 1-year timeout on swimming at that end of the pool.
I don't know if they have any other options than to take a timeout.
Well, instead, you're going to be bargain bin hunting.
We went through it this morning.
And I didn't like what I saw. I didn't see a lot of great options out there for the Diamondbacks to fill 2 rotation spots. And so why wouldn't you go to the guy that you're comfortable with? The guy that knows how you operate. You know how he operates. He's had a relationship with this organization. He started on opening day for this organization. He's been great for this organization. You're not taking somebody from another city. You're not signing a Chris Bassett. You're not signing Tyler Mahle. You're not signing Nick Martinez. You're not signing any of these guys from another city, not knowing what they're going to bring to the Diamondbacks. You may have an idea. You may be able to take their numbers and punch them into a computer and figure out what they might be able to do for you, but you don't know how they're going to fit in the clubhouse. You don't know how they're going to communicate with their teammates. You don't know if they're going to be a good fit. You know all of those answers about Zac Gallen. You know whether or not he's a good fit. You know whether or not he's good in the clubhouse. You know what his personality is like. So when you go out and get an additional free agent, you're weighing how that player's personality will fit in your current
clubhouse.
In your current clubhouse. And so it's kind of the devil you know versus the devil you don't. I know what Zac Gallen is, and I've got a team that's going to need 2 starters at least next year. They've got 3 guys. They have Ryan Nelson, they have Brandon Pfaadt, and Eduardo Rodriguez. Those are the only 3 starters that you can put in Sharpie into that rotation. The other 2 spots are open. Could it be one of the prospects in the system? Could it be a Cole Drake? Could it be a Mitch Bratt? Could be. I don't think it's going to be. I think it's unlikely that they would open the 2026 year in the rotation. I think they're more middle of the year call-ups. I'd feel differently if one of them got called up here in September and got some starts. I'd feel differently if there was some major league data I could dive into, but I don't have that right now. So I don't think the Diamondbacks are going to throw caution to the wind and say, we're going to start 2 youngsters who've never pitched at the big league level. We're going to throw them into the rotation, and we're going to ask you to pay these big season ticket prices to watch that rotation try to win baseball games. I just don't think they're going to do that. I think they're going to try to responsibly field a competitive baseball team. They're going to try to responsibly field a team that can hang around the wild card. You can't do that with 2 rookies in your rotation. As much as I think those 2 rookies could pan out, you can't build a rotation that way. You have to have a reliable veteran or 2 in that rotation, giving them the ball every couple of days. And Zac Gallen, at least in August, has been a pitcher that this team should want back. They should want back August version of Zac Gallen.
With how this rotation is currently made up, I mean, you bring back Zac Gallen, you have an opening day starter. We've talked about, okay, who is an opening day starter going to look like for this team? If you bring back Zac Gallen, it's going to be Zac Gallen. Out of 1, respect, and 2, he is your most successful big league pitcher at that point. And is he the best at that given time? Maybe not. Maybe you would go with Ryan Nelson. But you give Zac Gallen the ball. And so that answers a stupid question at times of who's going to start opening day. But if you keep Torrey around, you have a guy in this clubhouse that's been here before. You know what he gives you. And there has been a lot of ups and downs about Zac Gallen, especially this year. But the one thing I'll say about Zac is every 5th day, he takes the ball and he gives you innings.
Well, and he wasn't good earlier in the year, right? Him and Erod, if you look at any statistic among qualified starters, they're towards the bottom part of the list. He was not good for a large chunk of this season. He's been good in 1 month. He's been good in the month of August. And it's been a reminder of what he can be. And more importantly, it is a reminder of what this team's going to need. They're going to need a starter that can give them that. And like I said previously, if they bring him back, in whatever capacity they bring him back, qualifying offer, they sign him to a deal. However, this relationship continues. It requires a mindset change. It requires you to not put him in the box of that's the ace, that's the Cy Young candidate, that's the guy that has to pitch to a sub-3 ERA and be dominant and lead every National League pitcher in the important categories. That's not the expectation that you need to put on Zac Gallen. You need to look at him for what he would be providing you. A number 2, number 3 starter that can eat innings, that can give you those quality starts. And I think when you look at it through that lens, Zac Gallen is a pitcher that is worth it for the Diamondbacks. Now, I just worry that if he keeps this up, I think he's just going to price himself out of Arizona. He's going to certainly decline the qualifying offer.
You would have to imagine.
If he continues to pitch this well. He's just going to give that up. He's just going to decline it, and then that takes that option off the table. So then the Diamondbacks would have to bring him back on a contract, and he's going to want multiple years, and he's going to want more than the qualifying offer. Qualifying offer is going to be, what, $23 million? $24, $25 million?
It's 24, probably.
So you're talking a guy that's going to want $25, $27 million a season, if not more.
And are you willing to give Zac Gallen that off of 2 months that finished the year?
Didn't I just say at the top of the segment that I don't think the Diamondbacks would be swimming in that end of the pool for a 3rd straight offseason?
If it gets up to 27, I think this team's out. And for good reason. I also it's hard to sit here and say that he's worth $27 million to this current franchise.
And I love Zac. I mean, I've always been a fan of Zac. Even me, one of the biggest Zac stans there is out there. Even I can't say that a 3-year contract worth $27 million a season is worth it for this team. It just doesn't make sense. You can't for a third consecutive year pay a big contract to a pitcher when there's a decent chance that it doesn't work out. Because very easily Zac can go back to being the guy that had a 5 ERA and was one of the worst starters in the National League. I mean, it can turn that quickly. I'm talking about a world where he just chooses to accept the qualifying offer because he doesn't like what the market tells him. Would that be the worst thing in the world for this team? And I don't think it would. I had gotten to the place where I had accepted that Zac Gallen probably was going to be gone, and it was probably the right thing for the organization. But the way that he's pitched in August is just that reminder of what could be, what could still be, what he does still have left in that tank, and he could give it to the Diamondbacks. And if not, he's going to give it to another team.
Yeah, Zac Gallen, he's like the game of golf. You know what I mean? You have the 8s and the blow-ups on holes, and then you come back, and on 18, you have a big par that keeps you coming back.
You just can't wait for that next round.
You're one hole from thinking, man, I could really compete, and one hole from thinking, I quit this game forever. That is every Zac Gallen start.
That does feel like the Zac Gallen experience in a nutshell. That there are the starts that remind you of a guy that could be an ace. And then there are the starts that make you want to pack his bags for him and help him move to wherever he's going to go. Like that,
that is the entire experience. He is, I just because I watch him a lot, he is Aaron Nola. Now, I think Aaron's probably better at his peak, but Aaron Nola has those starts where you're like, this guy is a Cy Young. And then he has starts where you're like, he can't keep the ball in the yard, Aaron.
480-864-1060, phone number for you to join us here today on the show. You can also chime in over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. We're talking Diamondbacks, so I'll take a comment here from Brian, who says, I can't let it go that there was no uproar letting Josh Naylor go. He's only 28. Pavin is 29. Unknown. Locklear, 24. That was our proven first baseman that walked away. I know what Naylor is. I don't know how many times I need to say this, and I feel like I can phrase this way to Brian because he will understand where I'm coming from. If this was a new listener, I maybe would handle this with more kid gloves, but this is Brian, so I can be a little more harsh about it. I don't know how many times we need to have this conversation. He was going to be a free agent at the end of the year. He was making, I think it was $15 million this year. I can go look at what the number was. It was going to cost this team a lot of money to re-sign Josh Naylor to a contract. Money that, let's be honest, I don't think they have. I don't think they have the money to spend on a Josh Naylor extension. I don't think they have the money to be able to give Naylor what the market is going to.
Josh Naylor signed a 1-year, $10,900,000.
So he was eligible for property arbitration, and the two sides agreed to, what was it? You said 10.9?
10.9.
The guy this year, what are the numbers for Josh Naylor? I haven't looked in a little bit because he's over there in Seattle now. But he's hit 286, a 350 on-base percentage. He's hit 16 home runs. He's been worth 2 wins above replacement, a WRC plus of 122.
I'm a huge nerd.
I mean, he's been great by any metric that you want to look at. He's 28. He won't be 29 until next year. That's a $30 million a year player.
Yeah, I mean, Christian Walker got $20 million a year.
What
at age 34?
Christian Walker got 3 years, 60, right?
3 years, 60. So $20 million a year at what, age 34?
Josh Naylor clears that
by $5 million. I think it's $25 million for Josh Naylor.
Yeah, I think we're talking 375, 400. I mean, I think that's the range.
Yeah, I think 400 feels right.
And I do not think there's a world where the Diamondbacks would do that and could do that. Now, John asks an interesting question. If Corbin Burns wasn't on the IL, would you want Zac back? I think the answer to that is no. Corbin Burns being healthy changes the math on this.
I think it's certainly.
Because now I have 4 starters instead of 3. I have 1 open spot. I'm much more open to the idea of that being claimed by a rookie. I'm much more open to taking a flyer on a guy in free agency to fill that 5th spot, knowing that I have 2 or 3 young pitchers in the pipeline that could be ready to go very early on in the season, where I can cut my losses, make that person a long man, turn him into a reliever. If I sign a guy to a 1-year contract, right? If I sign Griffin Canning to a 1-year deal, or if I sign Tyler Mahle to a 1-year deal, and he's my 5th starter because I've got Corbin Burnes in the rotation and I've got a bunch of young pitchers ready to go in the minors. If Tyler Mahle struggles and throws a 6 ERA through the first, 10 starts of the year, and Cole Drake's down there in the minor leagues or Mitch Bratt's down there in the minor leagues lighting the world on fire, I'll move Mahle to be my swing man. I'll call one of those guys up and I won't worry about it. If you've got 2 spots like that, it makes it a little harder to feel comfortable doing that.
Corbin Burnes not starting next year changes the entire offseason plan.
And it also,
that's just a fact.
It also changes how you feel about the team if Corbin Burnes is healthy and at the top of the rotation.
You just have a Cy Young candidate ace every 5th day. You just don't have that.
I'll tell you, I feel a lot better about Ryan Nelson being the number 2 starter.
Feel much, much better.
With our concerns about him being a
one-pitch pitcher.
A one-pitch starter. I feel a lot better about him as the number 2. Feel a lot better about Brandon Pfaadt moving down to the number 3. Feel a lot better about Eduardo Rodriguez being the number 4, number 5. You feel so much better about where your rotation is when you put at the top one of the best pitchers in the game. Yes.
I was going to say, they would all of
differently.
a sudden be in a like, we talked about this team coming into 2025 as one of the best rotations in the National League. We may seriously talk about the Diamondbacks in 2026 as one of the worst rotations in the National League. Corbin Burnes would still put him in the conversation for middle of the pack.
Yeah, that's the difference that a frontline ace
does
to a
so
team.
yes, so it would change the outlook on the team dramatically.
1,000%. And it would make me much less interested in bringing back Zac Gallen. I'm much more okay with him declining the qualifying offer, letting him go someplace else, rooting for him someplace else. I wouldn't be that upset if he succeeded someplace else because the team would have Corbin Burnes. We're not going to have Corbin Burnes until 2027. Corbin Burnes is not going to be available to the Arizona Diamondbacks at the level that everybody remembers Corbin Burnes at until 2027. Opening day 2027 is when you'll see the best version of Corbin Burnes. 480-864-1060, the phone number. You can also join us over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. When we come back, is there one word to describe the Arizona Cardinals this year? We'll talk about it next. The lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
James Out West, your desert destination for sports here in the Valley.
You've seen Shador. We've all seen him. He's, kind of everybody gravitates toward him.
He's got aura.
There we go. Thank you, as the young kids say. He's just there doing his job. He shows up early. He stays late. He's not posting it on social media to post it on social media to say, look at me. What you see is when he shows up to a neighborhood in which just got burned down, the apartment complex, and he sets up food trucks. I can't wait to see what happens for him, and I think that they have a good foundation for the future.
It's James Out West, every other Monday night from 6 to 7 p.m., right here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Every summer, across the valley, hundreds of our homeless neighbors die because of the heat. This is tragic, and it is preventable. None of us can stop the heat, but together we can save lives. With incredible partners like you, Phoenix Rescue Mission is able to provide life-saving water and critical care to our neighbors in need. Join us this summer and make a difference. Learn more at phoenixrescuemission.org/code red.
Hey, it's Austin Clark, owner of Moxie Pest Control. You know, most pest control companies use the same products we do. That's not the difference. But what is the difference is how we treat people. At Moxie, kindness counts, and it shows in every visit, every conversation, and every one of the 6,500 plus 5-star Google reviews our customers have written. Our field experts aren't just trained to handle pests. They're trained to treat your home, your family, your pets, and your time with the kind of respect you deserve. And our services come with a pest-free guarantee. Our methods and service just work better because our people are better. So if you want a pest control company you can trust in and around your home, give us a call. We offer same-day services in most cases, and we'll even give you 50% off your first service when you call. Call 888-MOXIE-10. That's 888-MOXIE-10. Moxie Pest Control, the highest and most reviewed pest control company in Arizona.
The garage door springs that come standard with most homes don't last. And when they fail, it's not just inconvenient, it's dangerous. Hi, I'm Tommy Mello at A1 Garage Door Service. Our springs are the toughest in the industry, backed by our lifetime warranty. That's right. Fix them once and you're covered for life. Don't risk your family's safety or your peace of mind. Let A1 replace your springs before they become a problem. From repairs to upgrades, it's A1 from day one.
A1
I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. Stop me if you've heard this one before. The Cowboys just committed organizational malpractice. And no, it's not simply because they traded away Micah Parsons. It's how they handled all of this. After receiving 2 first-round picks and former Pro Bowl tackle Kenny Clark from Green Bay, Jerry Jones admitted the team had been considering moving Parsons as early as the beginning of the offseason. And that's where the misstep lies. If Dallas knew they were open to dealing the 26-year-old star, why wait until now? The later you push a move like this, the more leverage you lose. In March, they could have sparked a bidding war. Instead, the Cowboys managed to box themselves into significantly fewer suitors and settle for a package that feels light. It's not about the decision to move on from Parsons. It's about execution. And once again, the Cowboys found a way to trip over themselves and provide us with the same old story in Dallas. I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. If you played pickleball in regular sneakers, you know you can pay the price. They don't cut it. And Todd found this out the hard way. We have this great sponsor, Tyrell. They make the best pickleball shoes. So one day Todd is playing pickleball and he forgot his Tyrell pickleball shoes. Well, you know what happened? He got hurt. He was playing in some fancy different shoes that aren't meant for pickleball, and he learned a lesson. Tyrell has everything you need to keep your feet cool. They're tough, they're lightweight, they're so solid on your feet, and you're going to wear and tear on the court, and they're ready to go. Every detail is built to help you play better. Tyrell pickleball shoes. If you want to play longer, feel better, and stop sliding around in those old sneakers, go to TyrellPickleball.com. You can look like a pro. You can play like a pro. It's Tyrell pickleball shoes. You spell it Tyrol. Tyrell pickleball shoes, the best pickleball shoes. Purpose-built for pickleball.
On your ride home from work, join in on the Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Bierstein.
If we owned our own football team called the Angry Roosters, and we kept signing people to contracts, and they weren't honoring their contracts and kept demanding raises, at what point do we throw our hands up and just say no to everybody? We signed you to a contract. Play out your contract, and that's it. You earn a better contract on your next one, we'll pay you for that.
Live weekdays from 5 to 6 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Is Rooster holding tryouts for the Angry Roosters?
I've been wondering about the Angry Roosters all week long.
I have to ask Corey where he pulled that from, how recently Rooster said that on air, because I want to know if there are open tryouts for the Angry Roosters, because I think I can make the team.
What sport are we playing?
I don't know, but I'll try out for whatever sport, because he was talking about contract disputes in sports. And I don't know what brought it on. Maybe it has
to be Micah Parsons.
It could be Terry McLaurin. It could be Trey Hendrickson. It could be any of the variety of hold-ins and holdouts. I wonder what the Angry Roosters are playing, and 2, when tryouts are. 2 questions that I'm gonna be thinking about all weekend long.
I've been thinking about it all week.
Maybe I'll call.
Can I make the Angry Roosters? How much are they willing to pay me? What would the Angry Roosters do if I hold out?
Right. Well, no, you know that answer. That answer is very clear. You're not getting a new contract. Rooster's not handing out new contracts. Every time I hear that little promo for the Sports Zoo with Rooster, I just have so many questions. I want to know what the Angry Roosters are doing, what they're playing,
and I love the name.
And if I can join,
I want to create an Angry Roosters logo.
We could get AI to work on that for us.
Yeah,
AI could give us an Angry Roosters logo that we could have up on social media here pretty soon.
We could totally do that.
I just want to be a part of the Angry Roosters. Whatever they're doing. Maybe they're playing pickleball. Maybe they're
seems like they got a good team over there.
Oh, and you know what?
And you know what? They had strong leadership,
massive leadership. I mean, just no nonsense leadership for the Angry Roosters.
No messing around. It was 8 days since Roosters' last nonsense.
We are 6 days away from the start of the NFL season. Next Thursday, the Cowboys will take on the Eagles, the opening game of the calendar. We still have to decide on our punishment for our picks segment. I don't know what we've decided to do yet for that. We have only a couple of days to work on that. 3 to be honest. Although I guess we could work on the punishment throughout the year.
I feel like we do need an idea.
But I'd like to have a working theory when we get to. Let me tell you right now, just a little bit of an announcement here on the Friday. I will not be picking next Thursday's game as part of my picks. I want nothing to do with the Micah Parsons Cowboys. I want nothing to do with that game.
All right, I got an idea. I don't even know if we could do this. What if the loser of our picks, as the carrier of ASU baseball, has to try and get 3 outs against ASU baseball's lineup?
There are safety concerns that I have. We'll
put an L screen up.
I don't know if we would be able to even do that. Okay, all right. I don't know if we could do this, but I will ask, and I think everybody involved would be interested. So I'll ask. I will ask our contact over at ASU if Coach would stand in the box, and we would have to try to strike him out. I think we could maybe try to make that happen. I'll at least ask. If the answer is no, then we'll come up with something else.
I think that's a good one.
But what's the punishment? Because the punishment is you have to try to strike him out. Like, if you have the L screen, you're safe. There's got to be some.
Yeah.
There's got to be some level of danger.
I don't know what the punishment is there.
Right. That's just something fun to do. I would actually enjoy that. So I don't know if that should be.
I just feel like if we said you had to get 3 outs, like how long do you think until you got 3 real outs against ASU baseball, like their current lineup? I think it'd be hours.
Brian says the loser has to get a Hello Kitty tattoo on their ankle. Now, see, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing tattoos.
No tattoos.
It's All Code says the loser of the pick segment has to clean the break room air fryer daily for the remainder of the week. Now,
that is funny.
I have to tell you, I don't think I've seen a single person use that.
Nobody's used it, by the way. It looks brand new. I saw
afraid.
This morning. I poured myself a coffee in there. It looks brand new.
Everybody is afraid to be the first person through that wall because they don't. There's a lot of concern about.
There's
how
also
do I
no
clean it.
tray.
No, there is a tray. It's in the drawer.
Oh,
the tray's in the drawer with the instructions.
Okay.
Did you not read the email that was sent out about the air fryer?
No, you read the email to me.
Well, there's the tray, the liners, and the cook time instructions are all in the drawer underneath the air fryer. Now, today would be the day to do it. There's nobody here. You could use the air fryer to your heart's content. Make whatever you want.
There's just nobody wants to hand wash it, and everybody knows they're going to have to hand wash it. That's the issue.
Right. We have said that this is a hand wash thing, and you have to.
You just got to suck that up.
Right. And I don't think people want to do that. They would rather just microwave something. What was I supposed to be talking about here? I think we were talking about the Cardinals. I think there was an athletic story written today. I think that was what I teased before the break.
So there's an athletic story out there about the Cardinals that you wanted to talk about.
It's about the NFC West at large. They did their preview of the 4 teams in the division. And they had little blurbs written up about all the teams. And one of the blurbs was taking a question from their podcast, The Athletic Football Show. And the question that they pulled for the Cardinals was, what defines a successful season? And the quote that they grabbed from the podcast talked about just finishing. Like just finishing the job. This team was 6-4 going into the bye week. They then lost 5 of 7. They struggled in the 3 games against Seattle and the Rams. And that's where they lost the division. So they're actually closer than a lot of people think. And all they need to do is to just finish. That led me to think, is it really that easy? Is it really that simple to say, hey, just go finish? Because you know what I heard when I saw that quote today? The season doesn't start till the second half of the year. It doesn't really matter what they do in the first half of the season because everyone's going to be waiting for the back half of the schedule when they need to finish, when they need to not lose 5 of 7, when they need to prove against the hardest part of their schedule, which happens to be post-bye this year, that they can beat those divisional teams, that they can finish strong, that Kyler Murray can play in those big games late in the season. So you know what that tells me? It tells me that perhaps the Cardinals season doesn't really start until we get to the bye week.
When you said that this morning in the morning meeting, I've had those same quote kind of running through my head. I don't know if this is correct, but what's the saying? You can't win a game in the first quarter, but you can lose it. That feels like the Cardinal season.
The Cardinals
you can't win the season before the bye week, but I can lose it.
The Cardinals can't
make the playoffs.
They can't make themselves, I almost said NL East, NFC West champions in the first half of the year, pre-bye, but they certainly can play their way out of the NFC West in the first half of the year. But really, we're going to learn everything we need to know about this team not until they play Dallas, not until they play Tampa Bay, not until they play Jacksonville and Cincinnati and the Rams and the Texans late in the season. Yeah, sure, we'll get our little check-ins with Seattle and San Francisco at the beginning of the year. But really, what is everybody's criticism of this team? Can you win the big game late? Can you beat your division rivals? November, December, can you make that football matter, and can you win? Because everybody remembers what happened in Carolina last year. Everybody remembers a team that lost 3 in a row, including 2 against Seattle, and gave away the division lead that they had, and then got back into the race a little bit by beating New England, and then went to Carolina and laid an egg. That's what everybody remembers from last season. So you know what? Beating New Orleans in week 1 is not going to make me forget about Carolina last year. Beating Carolina in week 2 is not going to make me forget about losing in Carolina and losing those 2 games to Seattle last year. You know what will make me forget about those things? In the second half of the year, this team winning those types of games. And so it's unfortunate that there's excitement around this team. We're looking forward to next Sunday. We're looking forward to seeing this team take on the Saints and the Panthers and the Colts and the Titans, the nice, easy schedule that they have to start the year. Season doesn't really start until after the bye. Season doesn't really start until the back half of the schedule when this team's going to be tested. And I don't want to imagine a world where this team struggles pre-bye. I don't want to live in a world where this team's struggling against Indy, against Tennessee, against New Orleans, against Carolina. I don't want to live in that world, because then I don't think we're going to have a post-bye week that matters. I don't think those games are going to matter. I don't think those games are going to be meaningful to where we can answer those questions about this team.
You just have to take care of business, period. Like, there is a business part of your schedule, and you have to handle it, and that's the beginning part. And then you earn the right to play for the division if you take care of business in the first part of your schedule. That's the way it is. You know, we went through it this morning. I had you go through all 17 games and pick whether you think they're going to be a favorite or an underdog. You had them as a favorite in 10 games.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is 7 losses puts you on the doorstep of a playoff team.
Yeah,
puts you in competition to win the division.
It's certainly not going to lock up the division for you, but I do think 10 wins gets you in the mix.
And so, in reality, you have 7 losses. You can buy yourself 7 losses. So you can lose 3 on the road in the division, and then you get 4 outside of that. You have to go to Houston. You have to go to Tampa Bay.
You have to play Green Bay.
You have to play Green Bay.
You have to play Cincinnati in Cincinnati.
Cincinnati at Cincinnati.
I don't think Jacksonville's a cakewalk.
You get Jacksonville at least at home.
But I don't think it's a cakewalk.
It's certainly not a cakewalk, and we're going to see what that team is. You and I both think they're going to be better, and you have to play them late in the year. They've had some time to gel with the new coach, right? You wanted to play them early. Right. You get them late. So you have sure, you have room for 7 losses, but you need to win in your division. That's as simple as it gets. If you get swept by a team in your division, you may not have a chance.
This team has to start fast. They have to start well, because they need to set up the back part of the schedule to where they have that margin for error, because it's going to be a race to 10. I don't think 9 gets you a playoff spot. I think it's going to be a race to 10 to have a wild card or to win the division. Because I think 10 could win the division if everybody is around mediocre. And I think there's a world where everybody in the NFC West is just kind of okay. They're not great. They're not terrible. They're just okay. And I think 10 wins division. That's what last year was. 10 wins would have won you the division. So that's the number. That, to me, is the magic number. But unfortunately, nothing that they do in the early part of the season, other than moving closer to 10 wins, is going to make me feel differently about this team until we get to that back part of the schedule.
If they get to the bye, and the first game that gets on there that you say is the first true test is at San Francisco, and we'll see that as kind of the first measuring stick. You and I probably both have that circled as a loss in the early part of their season. If they win that and get to Green Bay undefeated, now you have a different conversation.
Sure.
But there's not much else they can prove before they play Green Bay that would change my mind on how I feel about this team in a positive light. Like I said, can't win it, but you can certainly lose it early.
Speaking of that, on the other side of the break, other than the quarterback, what might derail the Cardinals this season? We'll talk about it next. It's the lunch break, KDUS, AM 1060.
The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alessio is your hub for everything high school and college sports. Join Vince and friends as they give you the full picture on student athletes and where they're heading. Live interviews with coaches across the valley.
Asking some of the tough questions.
Varsity recaps and in-depth interviews with tomorrow's sports stars. The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alessio. Live every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 a.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Head coach Brian Wright and the Lumberjacks are setting a new standard in Flagstaff.
Happy with our attitude, our effort, how we've come together as a football team.
Join us Saturday. The Lumberjacks invade Arizona State to battle the Sun Devils. Our coverage begins at 6 on your home for Lumberjack football.
Gets his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Lumberjacks.
The NAU Lumberjack Sports Network from Learfield.
This Labor Day, celebrate family, fun, and the freedom to save with Chevrolet. And it all starts with spectacular offers available right now at your Valley Chevy dealers. Plus, you'll have the freedom to choose from an extensive lineup that's ready for all the adventure ahead. That includes popular models like Silverado. It's ready, steady, and strong with 4 powerful engine choices, impressive towing capability, and legendary dependability. Check out the road trip ready 2026 Equinox, blending style and versatility with a roomy interior that's loaded with intuitive tech and first-class comfort. Or discover Chevy Trax, feature packed with undeniable value. It comes standard with advanced safety, so you can get to where you're going with incredible confidence. Don't miss the Labor Day event, going on now at your Valley Chevy dealers. Hurry in and take advantage of strong lease offers and big cash stacks on Chevy's award-winning lineup. No matter how you celebrate Labor Day, it's always better in a Chevy.
We're chatting with our guest, always safety first, 811 Megaphone Man.
Call 811 before you dig.
You never stray from your mission of letting homeowners, landscapers, and excavators know you should always call 811 before you dig.
Call 811.
Call for both small and big jobs. And 2 working days in advance?
811.
Any parting words? And I'm guessing they will be...
Call 811 before you dig.
Brought to you by Southwest Gas.
811.
Prepare for the Maximum Fun Tour. A day to remember. Yellow Card. Talking Stick Resort Amphitheater. Saturday, October 25th. Special guests, The Wonder Years and Dinosaur Pile-Up. Tickets from $30. On sale now at livenation.com. A day to remember. Yellow Card. Part of the American First Credit Union Concert Series.
Stay at the heart of it all with a special Cliff Castle room rate starting at just $99 with no resort fees. Less fees mean more ways to choose your next adventure at the gateway to the region's best gaming, entertainment, and natural wonders. And expect service from the heart as well. We think you'll love your stay with us and all the value we provide, starting at just $99 with no added fees. Cliff Castle Casino Hotel, at the heart of it all. Valid Sunday through Thursday. Some restrictions apply. An enterprise of the Yavapai Apache Nation.
It's the Dan Patrick Show.
Ben DiNucci, NFL quarterback. I'm still going to introduce you as NFL quarterback. Being on the practice squad, what's the difference in how you're treated, lifestyle?
Honestly, nothing's different. I mean, there's 53 guys on the active roster and there's 16 on the practice squad. And the reality of the NFL is that guys are going to get hurt. There's a reason that these teams put a lot of effort into the practice squad, just like they do the active roster. It's really all the same. You're still traveling with the team. The pay cut's a little bit less, but at the end of the day, it's still great.
Live Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m. right here on KDUS AM 1060 and the KDUS 1060 app.
I'm a little concerned about the listeners of the program. I'm a little worried. Because we've got 17 minutes, 16 minutes until we're out of here, and we get done at what, 1 o'clock? The lunch break every day, 11 to 1, right? And I've been talking all throughout the program that there's nobody around today, right? And that we can just do whatever we want. Well, Brian said the perfect day to just keep going. But then he said until 1 o'clock, come on, program director, make it happen. Brian, we go to 1 o'clock every day. If I do exactly what you said, we're just going to do the same thing we do every day. At 1 o'clock, I'm going to sign off and be out of here. You want us to go another hour, right? Then you got to say 2 o'clock. My guy, the show is from 11 to 1 every day. Every day. You're here every single day with us. You're a P1. You should know this. I expect better from you, Brian. I expect better. So I'm a little concerned. Is Brian on a different time zone? It says Brian from Chandler.
It is a holiday weekend for Brian.
I got to tell you, it's certainly feeling like that over on the YouTube chat today. It feels like a holiday weekend.
What are you doing for the big holiday?
You want to take a guess of what I got going on this
I
weekend?
think you're over at the softball fields.
We do. We have a softball tournament this weekend.
Where at?
We are out in Gilbert.
Nice.
We are there tomorrow and Sunday, potentially Monday, depending on how things go on Sunday. We're out there all weekend. So, yeah.
Nice.
I was offered some tickets to the ASU game tomorrow night. And I'm going to very comfortably watch that game from my living room after being outside in the heat all day.
You don't want to see the Big 12 champions come back to Mountain America Stadium. And you know what I was wondering?
Okay.
So, not that they didn't win a national championship and there's no banners in the building, but like, I'm imagine they're going to have a Big 12 champions thing in there somewhere.
Like a logo or something?
Yeah. You'd have to imagine.
I would imagine that there would be something up there. Well, you'll be there tomorrow.
And then do you put it next to the Pac-12 conversation?
Well, you'll have this answer for us. You'll do some investigative journalism, and you will have this answer for us on Monday.
Okay.
Because you'll be in the building tomorrow.
I will be in the building.
So you'll keep an eye out, see if there's anything, see if anything gets revealed or whatever, and you can answer that for us on Monday. In the meantime, we were talking in the last segment about the Cardinals and how their season really doesn't start until the second half or until after the bye, because there's really not a whole lot we're going to learn in a good way about this team through the first 6 or 7 weeks. There's some bad that we can learn if they don't play well. But what could derail the Cardinals during this season? And put the quarterback to the side for just a second, because I get it. There's worry about the quarterback. There's worry about him playing in a big game. There's worry about what he can do in November and December. I want to live in a world where he's not the problem. What else could derail this team? And I'm not saying these things will happen. I'm just looking for the potential landmines. What could trip this team up to where we get to the bye and we're not talking about a team that's 4-2. We're not talking about a team that's 5-1 at the bye week. They somehow didn't reach that bar. What could it have been? And not injury. I think injury is a cheap answer here. That could happen to anybody. Schematically, execution-wise, what could go wrong for this team? Well, there's a couple things that we threw around in the morning meeting. I threw out there, what if the decline for James Conner starts a little bit earlier and Trey Benson isn't ready to take on that lead role? That's something that could derail this team. The offensive creativity leading to more struggles for Marvin Harrison Jr. That could derail this team. Producer Evan pointed out a young secondary that maybe takes a little bit to adjust. You do have a rookie in Will Johnson that's playing. I think we're all excited about what he can be. I think there are expectations about what this secondary can do. But what if they take a little bit to adjust? What if Trey McBride is just great? What if he's not elite? What if Trey McBride is just a really good tight end, but he's not the elite game-changing tight end that he was last year? And what if there's too much new on defense? Josh Sweat, Calais Campbell, Dalvin Tomlinson, year 2 of Darius Robinson. What if there's too much new and it takes them a little bit to gel and they slip up against Carolina, or they slip up against Tennessee, or they slip up against Indianapolis? These are the things that I will be paying attention to early on in the season. And a lot of these fall on coaching, right? Offensive creativity, that's coaching. Too much new on defense, that's going to fall on the coaching. The young secondary struggling, that's going to fall on coaching and putting these players in a position to succeed. But I know the focus mainly is on Kyler Murray and his execution of the offense. There are some other things here that could lead this team to trip and stumble in the first half of the year, and they cannot afford to trip and stumble in the first half of the year. They just can't afford it. They need every win that they can get in the first half, because I do worry that wins may be a little hard to come by in the second half. And we have set the magic number at 10, and you are going to be chasing that number all year long. Get as many of those 10 as you can before the bye week, before you have to play Cincinnati, before you have to play Jacksonville, before you have to play Tampa Bay, before you have to play Houston, before you have to play the Rams in LA to end the season, before you have to do any of that, get as close to that number 10 number as you can. That to me is priority number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Get to that number. And it all begins with that first chunk of the schedule. Get to the bye week with at least 4 wins in your back pocket, preferably 5.
We talked about it.
The name of the game.
There's just no ifs, ands, or buts. You have to take advantage. And I feel like everybody's going to say we're beating a dead horse here. I understand that. Because that's the way to do it. There's a map. That's the outline. You want to get you X marks the spot on a postseason spot? Go 6-1. Go 5-2 in your first 7 games.
Yeah, get halfway there through your first 7 games. That's going to set you up so well for success. But these are the things that I'm going to be paying attention to. These are the things that if we hop in the time machine, we move forward, and we're talking about a team at the bye week that doesn't have that many wins, I think it's going to be one of these things on this list that sticks out like a sore thumb. We've got one more before we are out of here today on the lunch break. How about this? Before we get out of here, caller number 3, 480-864-1060. We'll hook you up with a gift card to Von Hanson's, located at Alma School just between Elliott and Warner in Chandler, or online at vonhansonsmeats.net. You want to get yourself ready for football season with meats, beer, wine, barbecue rubs. Von Hanson's is the place. So caller number 3, 480-864-1060. We'll hook you up with that gift card. We've got the leftovers. We'll close up things here on a Friday. We'll do it all when we come back. It's the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
Attention all clones. The Jim Rome Show is here for you every day here on KDUS AM 1060.
Lots to get done. Welcome to the program.
Listen in as Rome dives into the biggest sports headlines of the day. From final scores, player contracts and trades, team prospects, and even a spicy take or two. The Jim Rome Show, 1 to 4 p.m. every weekday here on KDUS AM 1060.
That's the trick.
Online at KDUS1060.com and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Jaw-dropping stunts, high-flying tricks, heart-pounding excitement. Nitro Circus is back. The all-new Off the Rails Tour. Gravity-defying thrill seekers and world-class daredevils at the top of their game. FMX, BMX, skate, scooter, and everything in between. Experience all new competitions that pit the best against the best in never-been-done showdowns. Nitro Circus. Friday, December 5th. Desert Diamond Arena. Join the action at Ticketmaster.com.
2 years ago, Bobby Carpenter completed treatments for knee pain at QC Kinetics. So we're checking in with the former college and pro football player to see how he's doing.
I've been asked a lot, like, how long does this last? How long does it work? I go, I've had mine for a couple of years and everything feels very good. It feels just as good as it did when I started to turn the corner.
Bobby's an active husband, dad, and business owner. That's why 2 years ago, he heard about QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative treatments, and he knew he could trust them for his chronic knee pain.
And thankfully with QC Kinetics, I was able to go through this, and my activities are the same as it was. I'm able to coach my kids in sports. I can play golf. I can go run.
QC Kinetics patients like Bobby don't miss a beat. No surgery or rehab, just freedom from debilitating joint pain. Ready for lasting relief from joint pain? Call QC Kinetics today for your complimentary consultation and see if you're a good candidate.
Call QC Kinetics, 602-837-PAIN. That's 602-837-PAIN. 602-837-PAIN.
Hi, welcome to IKEA. Hi, I'm in a whirlwind of college prep. Gotcha. We've got affordable solutions to create the perfect college living space. Great. And visit our website to see how verified college students with an IKEA family account can receive a one-time use 15% off coupon. Nice. You guys think of everything. Pretty much. Offer ends 9/30/25. Valid ID required. Discount applied proportionally across items purchased as shown on receipt. See IKEA-USA.com/ready for college for complete terms.
Ready to tackle each morning with the best sports information coming at you?
I'm going to take a logical approach.
Get that weekday mornings on KDUS AM 1060 from 6 to 9 a.m. with the Dan Patrick Show. Dan Patrick, the Danettes, sports icons, sports legends, celebrities, poll questions. The Dan Patrick Show has it all.
It's a crapshoot.
Be sure to lock your dials to AM 1060 or 100.7 HD2 from 6 to 9 a.m. Mornings just got better.
This story is about us.
Back to wrap up today's edition of the lunch break. KDUS AM 1060. We got Phoenix Rising soccer tomorrow. You can listen to that on 1440 AM. NAU football, you can hear right here starting at 6 o'clock. You've got, like I said, Rising soccer, which starts at 7 o'clock down on 1440. So a bunch of sports here over the weekend. And the next time that we are all here together, the next time that we're all hanging out, producer Evan, the Monday edition of the show, it will be week 1 of the NFL season. Think about that for just a second.
That is awesome.
When we do this show on Monday, we will be breaking down ASU from over the weekend, and we will be getting you ready. It will be preview week for Cardinals Saints. We've got predictions to get to next week. We've got our pick segment to do. We've got all sorts of stuff. I probably should do the power rankings before the season so we know where we're starting.
I would think that's probably a great idea.
So we've got a lot to get to next week here on the program. We hope that you join us. We hope that you hang out with us all throughout the course of the football season. The whole show has felt very leftovers-y today, but what do we have in the actual
It has.
leftovers?
It's been a lot of put together. I mean, well, when you get big news out of the NFL, it's hard not to cover that. So
I don't know. Are you trolling me? Is there going to be some other big news that you're going to share that's not
no,
really
I
big
have
news?
no big news. Kyle Schwarber is the National League MVP.
I knew that you were going to bring this up in the leftovers. You had the Phillies hat on today. You weren't talking much about the Phillies all week. And so I knew this was going to come up when Schwarber hit 4 home runs last night. By the way, the poor Atlanta Braves, twice this year, they've given up 4 home runs in a game. Eugenio Suarez did it. And now Kyle Schwarber did.
It was like they're the first team since 1820 to give up something ridiculous.
The stat was that they went back in history, and it was sometime in the 1800s, the last time that they could find a team twice in a single season giving up 4 home run games. Braves have done it, obviously, 2 times already this year.
They won one of the games, which is even crazier.
Don't remind all of us here about what happened in that game. Suarez hits 4 home runs and the Diamondbacks lose.
Also, college football this week, a ton of good games.
Did you see Boise State last night?
Like getting crushed
by USF.
Yeah, can I be honest with you?
Sure.
I didn't expect them to get crushed, but USF in that game, Boise State traveling like cross country almost to play in the humidity. That was a recipe for disaster. Whoever schedules that game deserves to be fired.
Just not a great start to the year.
It's a horrible start. Like you lose like that, you're probably out of being a group of 5 team in.
You're going to have to overcome quite a bit.
Like you're going to have to smash every other team you play.
Yeah, pretty much. You're going to have to run the table, and the games are going to have to be non-competitive.
Blowouts.
Yeah. Just a bad start to the year for Boise State.
Really, really bad. But this weekend we got Texas, Ohio State. I don't know who you like in that one, but I think I'm leaning Texas just because the last name on the back. And then you have Clemson, LSU, the battle for Death Valley. And then there's Miami, Notre Dame. I feel like I'm missing one.
I mean, all the games you're mentioning, I'm interested in.
Those are great ones. Those are great ones. Oh, Arizona State plays NAU.
That's, of course, got to be on there.
Obviously on there.
Do we think it's going to how much of a faux pas do we think this is? I am the official scorekeeper for the softball team, so I keep score for the games officially. And when you're at a tournament, there's a lot of rules of players coming in and out, so I've got to keep – and I use my phone. Is it a faux pas to use the hotspot on my phone to get the college football games on my tablet? Do you think that I will be looked at by the other parents in a bad way?
Maybe.
You're telling me
Can
I
I tell
care.
you something? If I was in your situation, I wouldn't care.
So just keep score, but then have the tablet and not
I think,
care.
yeah.
Okay.
I think as long as you don't – if you get through the first game and don't make a mistake, is anybody going to say anything?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Mainly because nobody else wants to keep the score.
Can I ask you a question about scorekeeping?
Absolutely.
Are you judging errors and hits?
So this is a very fair question by you. When we first started in Little League, everything was a hit because if you gave out errors, everybody would end the game with like 13 errors, right? As the girls have gotten older, I try to rule things more like I'm an official scorekeeper, but I tend to just give things as hits because you just never know how the play is going to play out? Because is everything a pass ball? Is everything a wild pitch? Did they advance on? Like I just try to be generous for both, not just for my team, for both teams. Everything's a hit. Everything's okay. We're out of here. Everybody have a safe Labor Day weekend. We are back here on Monday to get you ready for week 1 of the NFL. Jim Rome is coming up next. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you on Monday. See ya.